Norwegian, Swedish and Danish are basically the same language, so which one should you learn?
Norsk.
Norwegian is traditionally said to be a West Nordic language more closely related to Icelandic and Faroese. But that's not really true, because Icelandic and Faroese are basically incomprehensible to us mainlanders, and Norwegian and Swedish, if you take them side by side, you will have a dialect continuum where the languages kinda merge at the border. If you look at the development from Old Norse, one could argue that these are two separate languages, but realistically, they aren't really, and Norwegians and Swedes can understand each other very well.
Vilken skola gick det på? Marienburg. Ja, jo, men känner ni inte det där Emil och Sebastian? Ja, Sebastian gick i klassen med faktiskt. Ja.
Norwegian is spoken by approximately 5 million people, and here it comes. If you learn Norwegian, you need to learn 2 different spelling standards and also ways of expressing yourself. We have bokmål, which is more oriented towards Danish, and we have nynorsk, which is more oriented towards certain dialects. And here you can see the differences between the 2 writing systems. So we have jeg snakker ikke norsk and jeg snakker ikke norsk.
Svenska.
Now Swedish is very much like Norwegian. We both have pitch accents, and certain ways of expressing yourself in Norwegian is how you would say it in a bunch of Swedish dialects. So here the talk of a dialect continuum really shines.
Jag talar svenska. Jag snackar svensk.
And a very common colloquial way to say this in Swedish is jag snackar svenska. So here you can really see how close these languages are. Swedish is spoken by approximately 10 million people, so in this regard it is the biggest of the 3 Scandinavian languages here. So maybe that's a reason for you to pick Swedish.
Därför har jag tillsammans med mina föräldrar beslutat att omgående börja på Hillerska riksinternat.
Ja.
Det stämmer inte, jag har inte snackat med mina föräldrar överhuvudtaget.
Nej, jag är ledsen men det är redan bestämt.
Dansk.
This one is really the odd one out. So Danish is spoken by approximately 5 million people, just like Norwegian. The spelling is close to Norwegian because Danish rule over Norway, so bokmål is kinda like Norwegian written in Danish, in a sense, but it all boils down to pronunciation.
Jag har fått beställt en ambulans till 72.
Detta ska bli den bästa sommaren i mitt liv.
Cameloso.
I definitely want to be fair in this video, and I don't want to hate on the Danish or the Danish language. I've tried to learn Danish myself, but if you're into meeting a lot of people and speaking a lot, this might be a huge hurdle for you. Or you're a person that really gets a kick out of it, then by all means, go for it. Other than that, like I said, spelling is kind of like Norwegian. They share a bunch of vocabulary, but Danish and Swedish are on the same side of the family tree, so there are a bunch of similarities there as well. Swedish has a bunch of German vocabulary, so does Danish, but for some reason, other words. So if you are German, one of these languages will definitely be something for you to learn rather than Norwegian in that case. Now, speaking as a Swede, spoken Norwegian is not a problem. 98% of that is understandable to me. It's hard to say, right? But it's mostly not a problem. But Danish requires a lot of practice. But if you look at reading, I understand just as much Danish as Norwegian, 99%. I've read novels in both languages, and I usually have to look up like 1 or 2 words tops. So that is not a problem.
Jag talar danska. Jag snackar dansk. Jag talar snackar dansk.
So I see you settled for Swedish. Great job. Click here to learn.